watching Back of the Room with Matthew Gill for Punchline Magazine. Here with Steve Byrne. Steve, thank you so much.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
The trailer to promote your newest special,
Yes,
which was one of the most creative trailers I've ever seen. It's from his first time on stage, and it just shows like a progression of his career up until this point. It's a really cool trailer. How that would inspire that?
Well, whenever you're making these specials, they ask you to come up with little videos or whatever so you can post it on, your social media sites or Comedy Central, whatever. And I thought, instead of making some goofy sketch, whatever, I really felt like this special, it took me 12 years to write this, because they always say it takes you 10 years. Maron always says it takes you 10 years to be an overnight success in comedy.
Yeah.
And I truly feel that way, because it took me, over the course of the last 2 years, is when I really wrote the Byrne Identity, and it was the hardest I've ever worked on anything in my life, and I really put everything into it. And the basis of it was about identity, because I kept asking myself, who am I? Who am I?
Right.
And that's where it all started from. And when I was writing it, when we finished it, I thought, why don't we go back and show a video from my first time on stage and all the things I've done that have led up to me to this one night.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it took all that work to get to this material to do that one special. So, and anytime you're a comic and you work hard and it goes out there in the world, you're thinking, oh, people like it, hopefully they'll enjoy it. And my presents did well, didn't do great, it was okay. Then Happy Hour came out, and I thought, oh, this is fun, this is a good special, right? And people are like, yeah, and then it comes out, it did okay, didn't do awesome. And I kept thinking, why are these not doing that well? And I thought, well, I'm not relating to anybody. There's nothing anybody is going to hear in any of that material that they go, I feel that same way too. So that's when I started saying to myself, again, who am I? Why would anybody relate to me? And it came down to asking myself that question and writing about it, about identity through races, identity through being an American. I'm really proud of this one. Happy Hour, if you were to listen to the audio CD, you'd miss out on half the jokes, because you have to see it. It's all visual, it's energy. And energy, I think, is just a lack of writing. So with this one, you can listen to the whole thing, and there's not really anything that I'm acting out. There's no sex jokes at the end. There's none of the old things that got me by. And I think this one is quite a departure from my older stuff, and I think it's for the better. Definitely for the better.
So has the writing process changed for you? I mean, how has it changed now from 10 years ago?
Well, before it was thinking of outlandish things, or thinking of things I could act out, or thinking of, or seeing something and writing it down and going, that could be funny. Whereas this one, I literally would go home Mondays and Tuesdays. I lived downtown by the public library, and I would sit there for 2 or 3 hours a day, and I'd read the news or whatever, but then I'd force myself to write about identity. But I would have to say that I had another half hour written prior to a trip to China. And it was going to be like Happy Hour 2. It was going to be the same kind of observational stuff. But I went on a trip with Vince Vaughn to China. We went to go see the Olympics together, and he was kind enough to bring me. But that experience, that vacation, made me absolutely question everything about my identity, because it's a global event, and the one question everybody was asking, what are you? I was like, oh, I'm American. But then I come back to America, and it's like, what are you? I'm Korean and I'm Irish. It's like, well, if I'm American there, why don't I just be American in America? That was the whole thing. So if he wasn't kind enough to take me on that trip, none of this would have happened. I'd be doing Happy Hour 2, and it wouldn't be on Comedy Central. They wouldn't have bought it. It'd be on my website being sold, because it probably wouldn't be as good.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get your brand, where you got the black suit, the skinny black tie, the image and everything?
I don't know that I ever wanted to create a brand. I just wanted to be comfortable on stage. And I think that comes with finding your voice and finding what you're comfortable with on stage. Now look, I never wore a black suit and black tie to stand out. I saw Don Rickles perform in Vegas, and this is the night before I was doing stand-up sit-down on MySpace for that TBS festival. And I saw Rickles, and I saw him come out in the bow tie, and it was old school, and it was classic, and I was like, that's it, man. I want to look like that. That's an entertainer. So my suggestion to these kids out there is stop marketing yourself. Stop getting people to come see your show.
Yeah.
You're not getting a cut of the door.
Yeah.
You know, you're not making any money off it. Just get the stage time, work on your act. And when people start paying to see you, then get them to come see you.
Right.
Until then, don't worry about the marketing. Who cares if you're doing an open mic on Tuesday at 9:45 and people can get free hot dogs?
Yeah.
Who cares? They're not going to come out and see you. You know?
Yeah.
Just work on the act.
Yeah.
That's all you got. There's so many comics out there that think this manager's going to make me famous. This agent's going to get me on that. No, it's you.
Yeah.
If you're good enough, you'll get the work.
Yeah.
So just do the work.
So the last question, it is the last and best performance of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What 3 people would you want in the front of the room?
Yeah.
In like the front row, and what 3 comedians would you want in the back of the room to witness?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. This is a tough one. Okay, in the front row, I would have my folks, obviously, my brother, my girl, and then my buddies Peter Billingsley and Vince Vaughn and Ahmed Ahmed. The 3 comics I'd want in the back, even though they probably might not appreciate my humor, I've always loved their humor.
Yeah.
Bill Burr.
Oh, nice.
Could be one of my favorite comics of all time. And he's a guy that I love, but I try to avoid listening to because recently I've gotten more racial with my stuff and I don't want to hit on any premises that he has. But I would say my favorite New York comic out of all of them, and we couldn't be more opposite, is Jim Norton. I've always respected his honesty. I've always respected the risks that he takes. I respect the fact that he talks about things that are so alienating, but they're personal to him. And to get people to laugh about some really, really sick, demented things that, you know, it makes people uncomfortable. But I'm not lying when I say that. I think he's one of the most intelligent guys I've ever met. And the thing I've always respected about Bill and Jim is that they're so opinionated, and there's an intelligence behind their opinion, but at the same time, they can take that humor and instill it in that strong opinion. And so that's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And I've realized that over the last 2 years, and it made me appreciate them that much more over this writing process. They're 2 of my favorite comics. I absolutely love them. And I know everybody goes Carlin and Pryor. Yeah, of course, they're great.
Yeah.
But my personal influences, I don't know that they've influenced me, but they've inspired me.
Yeah. Tune your DVRs. Sunday, July 25th, 10 p.m. I'm going to do like a monster truck voice. Sunday. 10 p.m. premiere of the new Byrne Identity.
Yeah, it goes Friday, 9 o'clock, the half hour. Saturday, midnight, happy hour. Sunday, 10 o'clock, Byrne Identity.
Definitely. Get some takeout food. Get some pajamas. Get in the house. You know, it's a good weekend to be a fearful person. You know what I mean?
But I do hope that people tune in. I really did work as hard as I ever had on anything in my life, and I'm really proud of this. So I hope people enjoy it.
Definitely. So this is Back of the Room with Matthew Gill here with Steve Byrne, July 25th, 10 p.m. Comedy Central. Tune your DVR. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it. Thank you.